anxiety in historical places, although I'm actually calling it something else now. I'm calling it the counselling and advice bit, and I've split it into two sections on my channel, because honestly I can't make two channels. That's way too much work for me. So I basically just got one channel, which has got two playlists on it. One playlist is going to be my spooky bits, and then the other playlist is going to be my counselling and advice tips. So far that's all I can think of to call it. If you can think of any other names, that would be great. Please let me know in the comments, or just DM me, or you can email me, as I'll put my email below so you can see, and just any ideas that you have of what to call it, because to be honest I have no idea what to call it. So anyway, today I'm not really giving the location away very much, am I? Today I am again in Hertfordshire. I seem to be doing like a round trek of Hertfordshire at the start of this year. Nearly said 2020 then. Very, very well done, Cream, that I didn't. I keep putting that on my paperwork, 2020. And then I'm like, no, it's 2021. But I'm sure you all sympathise with me for that one. So I'm just going to swivel you all around so you can see. Ta-da! So behind me here is CharterTower. Now this is a very old part of a house. The house no longer exists, but there has been, since the 11th century, there has been a house on this plot of land. However, it's now obviously gone. It just went before the war, and the only thing that's left is the CharterTower. Now, a little bit of history here is that this CharterTower here wasn't built until around the 1500s by a person called Sir Richard Combe, or Combe, I think it's Combe. And he was a very wealthy man in the time of Henry VIII, and he took 55 years to build the house that stands behind me, and he completed it, and then basically left it. So before that there was another house that was on here, and it was owned by the Waterfields family, and they started out in about the 1100s, and then their line died out because they had no male heirs, and that's how it went on to Richard and his family, the Combe family, and he created this absolutely, at one point this was a massive opulent tower, no, sorry, not tower, house. It was a house, mansion, whatever you want to call it. However, the only thing to survive is this. And if I come closer, so you can actually see, so where this brick wall is here and where this kind of bit is here, that would have, that would have been where the what do you call it, coat of arms was. So his coat of arms would have been there. Also as well, on the tower itself is the coat of arms just above here. So just kind of where I'm pointing between the window and the tower, just there where that weird sort of there. I was just like, I can't point to it. That is where his coat of arms would be. Now if we walk through, so the place now has become a garden. So it's now a memorial garden. but this is the kind of the plot of land that would have been on here. Sorry, I turned you sideways then. So this is all the kind of the plot of land. So we are now technically in the house. Quite a big, would have been a big house at one point. And you can see there's a door sort of on the back side. I'm trying to get it so you can actually see. The light's really bad today. It gets really hard to film because the sun is so low. So everything looks so dark. But there you go, there it is there. And then if we walk back through here, there we go. So you can see there's not much of it left. There is a really cool legend / myth about this place, that Henry VIII supposedly hung out of that window up there and proclaimed that this town had a charter. So he just leant out the window and he was like, I proclaim this town has a charter. Probably not like that though. However, that is just a myth, and sadly it's not true because the house itself would not have been finished by the time he came here. So unfortunately, that's just one of the sort of myths, legends, whatever you want to call it, that is not actually true. And we know this because apparently he came with, in the legend it says he came with Anne Boleyn, but again it took 55 years to build this sort of mansion, and it would not have been done by the time he came. So sorry, that's one myth busted. And so sad, but not true. Although it would have been really cool to imagine him just leaning out of that window going, oh. I probably should give up my day job. So I'm gonna go on to the tips now. So I'm trying to get it so I'm not the sun's not in my eyes. Here we go, that's probably the best. So I've got 3 tips for today. Just putting my bag down there. So the 3 tips for today are all about stress. And stress at the moment is something that we are all feeling due to everything that's kind of going on. I'm just taking off my gloves. So I think the biggest one here is tip number 1 is to talk about any problems that you have. Talk about them with anybody, with friends, family, colleagues. Like if you're worried about being on furlough, or if you don't have a job, or if you've been made redundant, talk about it. Get that out, whatever you do. Swear if you have to, because swearing as well is very good for you. It's very good for the soul. It also gets the tension out of the body and actually makes you feel calmer. So if you need to swear, swear. So that is tip number 1, is just talk to someone, anyone, about anything. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is keep in mind that stress actually isn't a bad thing. So when we get really stressed, we actually become way more productive, because it allows us to modify our work or make our work better, because we are how to put it, it's solving something. There you go. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's a problem solver. So when we get really, really stressed, we actually are more productive at solving problems. The problem comes though, however, is when the stress gets too much and we don't reframe these thoughts, and we don't then accept the emotions that come from that, and we become overwhelmed. Now we all have like a coping kind of layer, so we all have a capacity for stress in some way or another, but it's when we exceed that capacity, that's when it becomes a problem. Okay, so that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 then is probably the most important one, is prioritize those responsibilities. Try to become organized. If you're not an easily organized person, like I have to say myself, I have to include myself in this, is that I'm not the most organized person, not at all, but I've learned to be. And yes, it takes a lot of effort and time and energy to become organized, but I know, for example, when every bill is coming out, because I will write it in my diary. I have like 3 diaries. I think that's probably a bit OTT. And sometimes actually that could be a little bit overwhelming for some people. So I'm not recommending 3 diaries, but just get a diary or a wall diary, and just mark down everything that you think you need, everything that kind of is important. Write it down, prioritize what needs to be completed first, and then you'll find that you can also do it as well with the quickest ones first, because then that keeps your motivation going as well. So let's say, for example, you have a bill coming out on one day, and then you need to write a report, and then you need to, let's say, redo your CV. Okay, choose the quickest one first. So paying the bill will probably be the quickest one, and then go from there, and then maybe do the CV second, and then the report last. So again, that's giving you, that's keeping your motivation going, because you will have done those 3 things then pretty quickly, or maybe not pretty quickly, but it will just keep your motivation going. So yeah, that's basically my 3 tips. And as I said to you, like this year, I'm going to focus not just on anxiety, but other issues, or not issues, I don't like using the word issues, but kind of other problems too. So stress obviously is a big one, and that's what causes anxiety and depression. So stress, I think, is a really important one to do. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video today. As you can see, it is still very, very cold, but it is a lovely sunny day. That's probably not giving away much, but there we are. So it is a lovely sunny day today, even though it is freezing. But I do wish you all a lovely rest of the week, and I really do hope that you enjoy these videos. And like, comment, subscribe if you want any advice at all, or if you feel like you want to get anything out, or if you feel like you want to know something, then please just DM me, and what I'll do is I won't reference to you, so it's all confidential and everything, but if there's anything you want, like a topic that you want me to talk about, or anything you want me to talk about, then please, honestly, just let me know. Alright, well, I'll leave it there then for this week. Have a lovely week, and I shall speak to you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye. Mwah.